Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone. Welcome back to my channel. How are we all doing today? So, yesterday I recorded a video, and this particular video, we have done it yesterday, but something happened. When I published it, people called my attention and said that my voice was not coming out. Then when I checked it, truly it was not coming out. So I have to pull it down, and we are going to run it again. So that's why I have to bring it to you now, because it's very, very important based on the content of the message, because yesterday CS gave a report about the document or documentary from White House, as you can see on the screen. So she made this publication yesterday saying, breaking: the White House declassified document on Biafra by Captain Kessia solidifies the independence of United States of Biafra, USB, today, led by Dr. Ngozo Rabeze and the USB cabinet. Nigeria currently occupies and increases violence daily on a foreign land. Nigeria must leave Biafran territory. The United States of Biafra, USB, redeclared its independence on November 29th, 2024 in Latin Finland. So USB must defend its people and nation from foreign invaders such as the Nigerian state. So this post caught my attention. I said, wow, let me go through it and know what the post is all about, because you never can tell. Let me know what everything about it. It happened that the USB, classified information, they decided to disqualify it by revealing the content of those messages. And when you go through it, you find out that literally everything in that document happened to be the genesis of the Biafran Nigerian Civil War. Some people prefer to call it genocidal war. Okay, and the problem and the plans of Nigerian and everything is there. So when you see it here saying that the document, all right, solidified the Biafran redeclared, that means after going through documents, you see the reasons and what happened before. It will give you more idea and more picture why Biafrans are seeking for the independent. It did not start today, and there's a lot of things that actually make that to be possible, like the injustice, the inhuman treatment, the the preference treatment, like favoritism and tribalism, as the case may be, the differences between us, the treatment from government, to Biafrans is remarkably different from how government treat other people from other part of Nigeria, if you can relate. So that is what the message is all about. Now, we are going to touchlight, because the message is many and we don't have time to start going through everything. But let us try our best and focus on the highlighted parts of this document. All right, I think that will be okay. You can see the background of the problem. The Civil War is rooted in the failure of the first generation of British tutored politicians to make something of independence and unity, while London and Washington poured in money and high expectations. So corruption grew apace, and decisions were drained of content by the tribal pickery that led behind the fede of national parties. Okay, now all this thing is the creation of the Nigeria. What people begin to, because they build it based on tribe, and tribe that is going to favor them and everything. So, like I said, we are not going to start going through all that. Let's just focus on the keynote, which is the highlighted area. As you can see here, some of these parts that have been highlighted, I think, is somehow crucial. Let me try my best to see if I can. Okay, now you see the federal government outnumbers the Biafrans 2.1 in effectives, but Fresh arms and higher morale give the rebels, okay, priority of the present. But the thing is that when you hear this rebel, you are talking about Biafrans. So, and that's what they prefer to call themselves, insulting themselves. Rebel in terms of what? Anyway, here is a General Gowon. Here, 36. This is the address. Okay. Rules almost literally by unanimity over tenuous coalition, increasingly strength by the Stanfords. Now, ruled by unanimity over this tenuous, go on, which many of you know the history of how go on, emerged as the leader and everything. So that is this part one. Then here you see the current position. The Fed, that is the Nigerian government, still insists that the Biafra must renounce sovereignty before they will talk peace in its earnest. Like they just like what they're saying now. Once they capture anybody, renounce Biafra, like what they want Mazagan to do, what they want PM to do. So they said the Fed still insists that Biafra must renounce sovereignty before they will talk peace in earnest. Now, how can you renounce who you are? Because somehow they don't believe that Biafrans are, who we are. To them, we are just like people without any identity, no name, and that kind of thing, which is unheard of. But that's a story for another day. Here you see, they see the outside world, and particularly US, okay, drifting towards the rebels out of the evil design or misguided sympathy. Then they were the ones seeing what is going on outside the world. Like PM, I think there's a way PM talked about it, that Biafrans don't even know what is going on, during the war, because the media is not on their side. They don't even know that US already coming, shifting to favor them, to side them, because they are aware of the genocidal war that Nigerian, the war crime they committed and all that. Recent intelligence indicates that the Fed planned a major offensive in March before the spring rains bogged everyone down. Okay, what happened is that as Biafra was fighting, they don't even know. They don't have anyone speaking for them, representing them in White House. Nothing at all, which is very, very bad, because there's no way you can attract sympathy or help without having voice, to the various offices that matter, like US and French actually approached Ojukwu then, like what I was told, but somehow Ojukwu refused to buy the idea of them, taking oil for, I think, 10 years. They see the outside world. I have gone through this one. Now, let's start from this last paragraph. He said, Colonel Ojukwu, 35, British trained. Okay. SY Playboy preside over the popular support and military morale of a people convinced that defeat means extinction. They have fought well by African standard against heavy odds. Their cynical public relation use of the starvation has been brilliant. To them, it is brilliant. They're using this word. They're even acknowledging the fact. They acknowledge the fact that using starvation to them is brilliant. And you know what I mean by that starvation? Blockade, which is also war crime. And I, like yesterday when we talked on our live broadcast, when we talked about this Sibini guy called Wounded Civilian, in one of his comments in that video, he says something that I forgot to even highlight on that. That Ojukwu is a criminal. That he committed war crime. You know why? Because he used child soldier. He said, coming from someone who is proud of people that commit genocide by blockade. You're talking about using child soldiers, but what about you that starve pregnant women and children to death? Just this is double standard of some people who want to be in the same country with everybody. I don't matter. Now, we have touched the first paragraph here. So let's go through this one. It said, Biafran profiles a ceasefire, knowing that neither Gowon nor his coalition could survive a hiatus, which only gave a repeat to the rebellion. I don't like this word. The immediate food crisis is on the Biafran side, which has been reduced to a 70 by 40 miles in federal health territory. I don't even believe that there's any delay or anything like challenges the Nigerian face on their own side, like blockade, anything. Only Biafrans are the one going through it that made people to start eating lizard and all that. So that story is not something that anyone should remember. Very, very bad. For the moment, deaths have probably gone down in Biafra as a result of the 300 tons or so for protein concentrated flow in per week before the block on Fernando Po. I don't know the word better than Fernando Po. But the fair harvest in Igbo land is being consumed as they face a carbohydrate famine, which we have still greater impacts on the population and requires much greater bulk than the present relief airlift. Remember, this is as of that time though. So, and this one, he said again here, okay, I think this one is continuation of that. Yeah, relief airlift what? Okay, airlift could possible handled. Okay, both sides have obstructed a relief, but the balance of guilt reside with Biafra. Then here he said Biafran blocks daytime relief flights. Okay, which could substantially increase deliveries because they are afraid federal government will target and knock out the air flight. That is maybe I thought only Red Cross helped Biafras during that time, but which the MIGs avoid at night or in the daylight when an aircraft is free to shoot at anything in the air. That war is very brutal, honestly. The federal government endorsed daytime flights in principle to isolate the night armed road and maybe get daytime craft at the field despite. So as they, everybody on their own, as the difference are what, they try their best to stop No, did like no fly zone, that kind of thing. Anything on air is they will drag it down using an aircraft system to do that. Biafran, went through hell and they faced it until 3 years. So when you go through, we just pick just few things. If you have time to go through all these things, you understand the reason why COS actually made that statement. Very, very important. Please, I would like you to tell me what you think about, the claim that COS made here. That claim is, look at it here, that this White House declassified document on Biafra by Captain Kessia solidified the independence and of the United States of Biafra, USB today, led by Dr. Nkosara President. So it goes to show, like what we normally say here, that this is not about COS, it's about the choice of the people. So let me know what you think about it and make sure you like the video. I would like to know what you feel. You can also go, if you want to read it in detail, please go to COS handle. The document, everything is there. I have to, take my time to expand it this way. Expand it there. If you go there, you may see it in a portrait form. So I'm the one that, split it bit by bit like this so that it can be more presentable. So, and if you want me to post this my own, the way I made it here, maybe if you don't want to read the one, maybe the one that says supposed to post there is tiny, you let me know that I don't mind to share it here on my wall. Please like, if you don't subscribe to the channel, let me know what you think about it. God bless you. See you again. Bye bye for now.